Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live Q&A with you and me. That's right, I streamed this live. Hopefully you were able to tune in live. I do several live streams every single weekday. You can tune into all of them. All you have to do is become one of the super nomies, aka the patrons, starting at just $2 a month. If I've ever given you advice that you've valued, that you've appreciated, if you want to see me continue doing what I do for you, just pledge. That's all I ask. $2 a month is where it starts, and you get tons of bonuses. Now, today's question is, should I get Windows 10? This is kind of a loaded question. I will preface this by saying, no, not everybody should get Windows 10, okay? Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, yes, some people should get Windows 10. If your computer is currently running Windows 8.1, because let's assume that most people who've had Windows 8 have already upgraded to Windows 8.1. If not, you should, because Windows 8.1 is a better OS than Windows 8 is outright, and I'm not necessarily talking about performance, just usability in general and feature implementation. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that those who are using Windows 8.1 right now will and should upgrade to Windows 10. In using the betas that Microsoft has released, and knowing what I know, judging by the feedback that we've heard from Barnacle Nerdgasm, aka Jerry. I don't know how you know him by his handle or his real name, but we were doing a hangout live the other day, although that topic of conversation happened to be dominated by another topic, not Windows 10. He had suggested that Microsoft's just not getting enough feedback, because apparently people had turned off certain options in the Windows 10 beta program that would make it such that Microsoft could not collect valuable data. So according to Jerry, what Microsoft's going to do is have like a bleeding edge version of Windows 10 and allow people to opt into bleeding edge updates, beta updates, and then stable updates. So most people will be fine and probably never toggle the beta updates, just push or getting what Microsoft pushes down the pike for Windows 10. Windows 8.1 users should upgrade to Windows 10. I don't see any reason why you would not want to upgrade unless you were absolutely in love with Windows 8.1 and you did not appreciate the changes that Microsoft made with Windows 10. And I believe that most of the changes Microsoft made were absolutely for the better. I'm not talking about what they've included specifically within the beta program. I'm talking Windows 10 usability in general. I'm not a fan of the Windows 10 UI implementation. There's a difference between UX and UI. I've talked about that before. That's not the topic of conversation today. It's feeling like it's still a mishmash between Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 and what Windows 10 is, with maybe other versions of Windows elements being thrown into the mix. I'm not thrilled with it, but I think usability-wise, Windows 10 is absolutely a gigantic leap forward, and I have little to no reservations in suggesting that if you are running a PC that's running Windows 8.1, you would want to upgrade to Windows 10. Now, if you're running Windows 7, okay, I'm not even going to talk to you. Okay, I'll talk to you still. If you're running Windows XP, this is probably not a topic of conversation that you're interested in. Windows 7, however, which, let's face it, was the first valid successor to Windows XP. I know, Vista, but hey, if you were running Vista, you should have upgraded to 7 eons ago, and you did have a choice. If you're running 7, what you have to understand is that 7's getting a little long in the tooth. I mean, it works well. If what you have runs on 7 just fine, then great. I don't think you're going to be compelled to upgrade, apart from knowing that Microsoft has really improved performance with Windows 10 and even with Windows 8 in general. Performance, perf-wise. I think they did a lot of, well, at least they laid the groundwork for performance gains, certainly over classic versions of Windows. And I would consider Windows 7 antiquated. And I'm not talking about the UI. I thought the UI was fine. Of course, it retained elements of previous versions of Windows, but Microsoft has an issue with, cutting things off, and they believe in legacy. So if you're running Windows 8.1, just for the sake of repetition, because I know I'm throwing a lot at people, Windows 8.1, yes, upgrade to 10. Hell, it'll be a free upgrade for the first year. If you're running Windows 7, yes, I would say that Windows 10 is a compelling upgrade. They solved some of those usability issues that may have kept you from upgrading, namely the return of the start menu. More than that, it was how they implemented the start menu and really found a usability paradigm that worked for people who may be using it as a tablet, a Windows PC as a tablet, and those who are using it as a traditional desktop PC. It is a very compelling upgrade to go from 7 to 10 so long as your hardware supports it. I would absolutely recommend it, if only because, come on, Windows 7? How old is Windows 7 at this point? Probably older than half the people watching this video right now. Microsoft has, of course, moved the ball forward with all of their services. I'm not going to say that they worked out all the kinks with 8 or 8.1. I'm not going to say that Windows 10 will be completely perfect. In fact, it'll probably ship in an imperfect state, but Microsoft's been pretty, timely in terms of pushing out updates, and I'm sure we'll be watching things very, very closely to make sure that the least amount of things break. Jerry would have a different opinion given that he was laid off from Microsoft. Many of you know that. And, he believes that Microsoft needed more internal testers. Microsoft's going the direction of using their community as the tester base. Who's right? It's not for me to decide. All I'm saying is Windows 8.1 to 10, I think, is a compelling upgrade. Windows 7 to 10, I think, is also a compelling upgrade, but not if your hardware doesn't support it. Not if you want Windows 10 to work exactly like Windows 7 either. I think if you've got Windows 8.1, you're ready for an upgrade to 10. 7 users may be a little less inclined to go to something different. Usability will have changed slightly. User interface will definitely have changed, probably more radically than the user experience had changed between 8 and 10. Or at least 7 and 10, I should say. Sorry, I realize I'm throwing a lot of numbers out there and a lot of words out there and terminologies and versions and everything, but I think you're, still with me. The bottom line is, honestly, Windows 10 is going to be a good upgrade for most people. Most, not all. Those who cling to the past probably are not going to be those who are going to enjoy this update at all. They will fight it. But if what kept you from upgrading to Windows 8, not using a third-party add-on for a start menu, was not having a start menu, well then I think your prayers have been answered. I'm assuming you were praying. How else would you explain this? So good luck. I will be upgrading on my own as well, my Surface Pro 3 PC, which I have used. I did a review on. Many of you liked it, except for the part where I talked about the stylus that wasn't working, apparently. But it was a positive review. #shock. Microsoft didn't even ask for it. I don't even think Microsoft knew I did a review. Well, I think they know I did a review on the Surface RT, but, well, Windows RT is dead. And that's all I have to say about that. Hope you appreciated the answer. Thank you for asking the question. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you for your support in whatever way you happen to be giving it. I love you. I do appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.